to get it to go down. So welcome, guys. Welcome to this week's Mums That Made It Happen call. Thank you so much for joining us. This is just a real informal information call as to how our opportunity can potentially change your health and your wealth at the same time. For those that don't know me, or you might be watching it back as a replay, my name is Claire Black and I have been part of the Juice Plus company since 2014. What I like to do on these calls is just take you back to 2013 before I'd ever heard of these products. And I just want to share a bit of my life with you so you can get a clear picture as to who I was and who I am right now, and how this opportunity completely transformed my health and my life as a whole. So back in 2013, I was going through a pretty shit time, if I'm honest. My mental health wasn't great. We had been burgled. Somebody had taken out 16 loans in my name. My identity had been stolen, and I turned 30 all in the space of 4 weeks. Now, identity fraud was this massive thing years back. You don't really hear about it too much anymore. And for those that have never been a victim of identity fraud, it's really violating. And it was really that which put my mental health into a spin. I've always been quite a positive, happy-go-lucky person. But I went into this negative spiral of, why me? Like, it was so damaging to not only my credit rating, but just to who I was as a person. I just felt really victimized. And I went through this spate of just being really negative, and at the same time I was really struggling with motherhood, and I openly share this every week. You know, I didn't enjoy being a mum, and I went back to work when Dan was 5 months old. By this point he was 6 years old, and I always say from when he could walk and talk, he ran rings around me. And I think because I was at work all day, and then I only had him for a couple of hours in the evening before bedtime, I know now he was crying out for my attention, but his behaviour was a nightmare. And sometimes being at work was easier than being at home with him. And I didn't like being a mum. I found myself really irritable all the time. I was flipping out at ridiculous things when the kids were naughty. I had 2 stepchildren as well, by the way. They just don't live with me full time. And my stepkids didn't like me. Who I was as a person, my diet was horrific. Okay, so I went from this space of May 2013 right up to March 2014, where I didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. My alarm would go off and I genuinely had that horrible sinking feeling in my stomach of, oh my God, it's another day. How are we going to get through this? And I guess one of the turning points, I remember driving my son to school. Like, I used to take him to breakfast club in the morning because I worked 8 till 8, so my hours were really long. And I remember taking him to breakfast club one morning, and I just wanted someone to run me off the road. Like, I didn't want to kill myself, but I just wanted someone to take me out of the situation that I was in temporarily, so I could get my head around things. You know, I couldn't cope with motherhood, I couldn't cope with working, I couldn't cope with anything. And this all stemmed from this incident that happened in the May 2013. And I kept going back and forth to the doctors saying, you know, I don't feel right. And I kept saying to my husband, I don't feel right. I don't feel like me. And they offered me antidepressants. And, you know, I've got no qualms of anyone who takes medication at all. This is not what I'm saying. But I know who I am as a person. And I know that I didn't want to go down that route because it would probably be something where I would be on them for a long time. And I just knew something had to give. And a lot of people who I meet through this business, as clients, they have that enough is enough moment. And for me, I'd had that enough is enough moment. I didn't want to feel like this anymore. And in my brain, go with me on this, because I know if you're female, obviously, because you're watching this and it's a mum's call, I thought if I lost a little bit of weight, I might feel happier inside. And I think we always tend to work on the exterior before the interior. So I saw someone post on Facebook about this plan that she was doing. It was called Let's Get Skinny. But the thing that she was posting about was how much her mood had changed. And my moods were terrible. Like, my mood swings were horrific. I knew when I was being a bitch, but I couldn't stop myself from being like it. And, you know, family life was really fraught. So I messaged her and she put me in touch with this girl who I ordered some shakes from. Like I said, initially just wanted to lose a few pounds and I thought that would solve all my problems. Actually, it did, but in so many different ways. So she sent me this, I ordered these shakes and she sent me a food plan of what goes alongside the shakes. And that was when I thought, oh shit, this is so far removed from my diet. My diet, on my Facebook memories 7 years ago, there was a picture of me at my desk eating a hot dog and a can of Diet Coke for breakfast from the newsagents next door. Like, my diet was awful. The most water I would get would be brushing my teeth. The most fruit I would get would be in a cocktail on a Friday night. Like, processed stuff, takeaways, you know, my diet was bad. And it's only from changing my diet I realized how connected your diet is and what you put into your body to your mental health. So I just wanted to lose a few pounds. I did the 10-day cleanse. Well, I did a 10-day cleanse. You're supposed to do 2 weeks, but I only did 10 days because my shakes arrived. And I did 10 days of shakes. And when I say I felt incredible, I just felt like me again. I felt like a different person. And I think the only reason I really gave it my best shot was I'd ordered these shakes. My husband would have gone mental if I'd ordered them because we didn't have the money to do that. And if I'd ordered them and not followed through with it. So I really committed to it. I swapped my breakfast every morning for a plant-based protein shake. And then I just cleaned up my diet. My mood, my energy, my skin, I lost 10 pounds. I felt incredible and I was telling absolutely everybody about it. So with that, when I kept passing people over to the girl that I ordered the shakes from, she was like, you're doing the business, why don't you join? And for me, as I said, I went back to work when Dan was 5 months old. I relied really heavily on childcare and favours. I couldn't afford a full week of childcare because it was just too expensive. I mean, even now it's so bloody expensive for childcare. But I knew that what she said was right. I was passing people over to her. What did I have to lose? So I spoke to Damo about it. He was, babe, it's one of those pyramid schemes. Don't do it. You'll run out of people to sell to. You'll have all this stock. You know, he was dead set against it. So those that know me, if you're watching this call, you know I never do what my husband tells me to do. So I jumped straight in. It was 50 quid, which was 50 quid that I didn't have. But I knew those products worked. I knew there was going to be people out there who didn't want to be around their kids or who just was missing out on so much of life like I was during that period of that depression. And I knew that they worked and I knew that changing their diet would really, really help. And this is what this program is, guys. It's an absolute lifestyle change. It is not a quick fix. It's a lifestyle change. But when you get that enough is enough moment and something's got to give, it absolutely works. So I joined the business and I'm going to be honest again, my sole purpose was I just thought we need more money. We were the kind of couple who, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, we'd get paid and then 2 days later we would be skint again. Like, we were constantly chasing our tails. Once our direct debits had gone out, we had nothing left and we would literally be budgeting absolutely everything. We could never afford to take our kids on holiday. We've been renting for years, and not that there's anything wrong with renting, guys, but you know, we've always wanted to be homeowners and we could never afford to buy a house or save for a deposit. And it just, for me, I wanted to earn a couple of £100. It would mean I could drop my hours at work so I could be able to do a school run for Dan, and then hopefully his behaviour would be better. And again, completely underestimated what joining the business would do for me. So I joined the products in March 2014. I joined the business in April 2014, and by June I was working and earning the same amount of money that I was earning in my full-time job. Now, this is not typical of everybody, but I got to work and I spoke to a lot of people about the products because I knew how incredible they were. The result of this meant that when I picked Dan up from school for the first time, I hadn't told him I was picking him up. Now, this is from a child who, from day dot, was confused about who was picking him up because I never had the same people, because I was always asking for favours. And I always had breakfast club in the morning, a childminder or someone looking after him until 6 o'clock in the evening. So we would get home from the childminders or whoever had looked after him that day at 6:30. It'd be bath, dinner, bed by 7:30. So my time with him was so limited. I literally had about an hour a day, and actually those hours that I did spend with him in the morning rushing to get into breakfast club was very stressful, and in the evening I was just stressing to get everything done that I hadn't done in the day when I'd been stuck at work. So, and that's not including like some of my hours. I used to do 8 till 8 on some of my shifts, so some days I didn't even get to put him to bed, and this went on for years and years and years. Like I said, he was 5 months old when I put him into when I went back to work, and he was 7 years old by the time I started this business. So I had 7 years of this. And when I picked him up for the first day, he first of all was like, "Mummy, why are you at school?" Because I'd never picked him up. And he used to always say to me, "Mum, why can't you pick me up? Why can't you come to plays? Why can't you come to sports day?" And the truth of the matter was, I couldn't afford to take time off work because I didn't want to lose the money, and I didn't want to use my holiday up. So picking him up from school was first and foremost the best feeling ever. So if you do a school run and you begrudge a school run, I promise you it's such a blessing, because there are so many people who can't afford that luxury. And then that night when I picked him up, we came home, he had dinner, he had his bath, and this was like a proper bath. I used to just chuck him in, quickly wash him, and then get him into bed. We sat in the bathroom, I played with him, I asked him about his day, like little things we really take for granted. And that night when I put him up to bed, I was climbing up his bunk bed, and he said, "Mummy, why are you climbing up the bunk bed?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to read you a story." Scooch over. So we got into bed, and I read him his story, and I gave him a kiss goodnight. And when I climbed back down the bunk bed, he said, "Mummy, you're just like a proper mum now." And I remember thinking to myself, I was so angry, because for years and years and years, I didn't realise how much time I was missing out on him. And of course, I've read my son a storybook before, but that priceless moment in an evening when it's their last moments, I was always so rushed to get him to bed and do other stuff, and I never had the time to do it. And I remember thinking to myself, "Claire, you have done this in 3 months with this business. What can you do in 6? What can you do in 12? And I just got to work. Like I remember saying to myself, I'm never going to let anyone dictate to me when I put my child to bed anymore, because that's what it is. Like the 9 to 5 is, we believe that we need to do this, and we believe that this is the only way, but it's not. When you go to work for someone else, and this is what I'm not okay with. I'm not okay with being told when I can have my lunch. I'm not okay with asking if I can go to the toilet. I'm not okay with being told what time I need to be somewhere and what time I can leave. And if I worked in a clinic, so if clients ran over, although I finished at 8, I couldn't leave until that client had gone. Those people were dictating when I could go home and spend time with my family. And the irony of it all is I was working to pay for a house that I didn't even fucking live in. But we do that, and we do that because we don't know another way. And thank God I found another way. And this is why we do these calls, to share with you, because it's real and it's true. And it's, being a mum is very, very hard, but it doesn't need to be that hard. So I got to work, and I was in a contract with a company that I worked for. So I didn't leave my full-time employment. I was able to drop my hours, but I didn't leave full-time employment until 2015, December 2015. I walked out of those doors, and I have been the boss of my own life since. I haven't looked back, and it has been the most incredible, life-changing roller coaster I've ever been on. My health is the best it's ever been, and we can't make medical claims, but I used to always catch colds, flus, chest infections, tonsillitis, you name it, I caught it. I could probably catch a cough off you if you coughed on this call if it was 6 years ago. I have not been ill since I changed my lifestyle and I started pumping myself with fruits and vegetables. And we're going to touch on the products in a moment. But just to let you know, like, obviously, yes, I can show you my transformation photo as well. I had a baby within the last 6 years. My little boy, Bo, is now 3.5 years old. And he doesn't know what it's like to not have me. Me being at home all the time is just the norm for him. Dan is almost 14. He definitely doesn't want me to read him a bedtime story anymore, and definitely doesn't want me to do a school run. But this business has allowed me to have that time, and I was able to make up the time that I lost. I lost so many years with him of his really younger moments, and like I said, sports day, Christmas play. But I thank God I started the business when he was 7, because I was able to relive all those moments and make it up to him. And his behavior got so much better because I was there, and it made me be the present parent I never knew I wanted to be. My stepchildren absolutely love me now. We've got an incredible relationship. And after 10 years of renting, 4 weeks, or actually 5 weeks ago, I'm sitting on the drive of our new dream house that we were able to buy. And, you know, I don't share this with you to show off. I absolutely don't. I share it with you to show you what's possible. You know, we were the family that never went on holiday. My husband and I's only holiday alone was our honeymoon. If we went on holiday with our kids, we went twice over this. Prior to 6 years ago, out of our relationship, we went on holiday twice with our kids because my parents paid for it. We could never afford to take our kids away. Now we holiday twice a year with them. We get to say yes so much more, and we have so much more freedom. But the biggest takeaway I want you to take away from this is time freedom. If somebody offered you £1 million right here, right now, or a week back with a loved one that you've lost, I know in your heart you would always choose the time over money. And that's what the important thing is about this. I'm really sorry, I feel really emotional today, but that's why this is so important, because this business can give you time freedom. Money gives you choices, and the choices can give you time. So if you work with it and you work at it and you want to change your life, you will not find a better opportunity out there. I was absolutely one of those skeptical people. Had I not tried the products, I too would have said, this is a pyramid scheme, they don't work. But I promise you they work. And I'm going to go through the compensation plan once we've talked about the products a little bit. But there are some incredible life-changing promotions, and myself and my beautiful Emma have hit them, and they're available to you. And this is why we're so passionate about helping other mums in particular, because we were those mums that struggled, and we don't struggle anymore. And it's only when you know and you understand what's available to you that your struggle can finish and you can end that. So that's my story in a nutshell. 6 years on, I love it even more than I ever did, and my health is the best it's ever been. You know, I lost my baby weight, which was great, but the feeling I have inside, that inside out wellness, that energy, that zest for life, that old me, if you knew me 6 years ago, you would not recognize me right now. And I feel incredible. I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30, and I feel better than I did in my 20s. So this is a complete lifestyle overhaul, and if you are ready and you've had your enough is enough moment, it's absolutely for you. Ems, can I just get you to unmute, my darling?
Hello.
So I'm excited. Thank you, as always, teaming up with me to do these calls. Emma is one of my bestest friends in the business. I'm so grateful to this business for all the friendships it's given me. I like to call her Mark Fowler on the calls because we talk a lot about fruit and veg. So if you could just share your product story, babes, and touch on, you know, what drew you to the business product wise.
Yeah, of course. So I just tried to turn my camera on, but all you can see is a black screen. I think you can't see anything, can you?
That's okay, don't worry, we just need to hear you.
You can just hear me, and I've just come to sit out in the beautiful sunshine in the sun when I decided to start drilling, which is fun. So I hope that's not too loud for you guys. Your story always makes me feel emotional, Claire, and it's so true. Like time and money, there is no comparison, and how lucky are we that we get to have both. So can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
I can hear someone else. Oh, I'm just going to mute Jess, that's why. Okay, so I found out about the products 8 years ago on Facebook, and I was a new single mum, and I was broke, desperately trying to feel better about myself. Very similar to Claire, you know, as women, when we don't feel great, we always try and work on the outside first. So when I saw this before and after picture that said, you know, I could use it to, there was a product I could use to lose weight, I was like, okay, I'm in. And 8 years ago, the world was a very different place. You know, nowadays there's lots more vegan opportunities. You can go to Starbucks and get an oat milk latte. 8 years ago, my daughter was diagnosed with a significant milk allergy. I was breastfeeding. There was no oat milk lattes at bloody Starbucks. There was nothing. There was literally nothing. So when I found out that Juice Plus was not only safe for breastfeeding, which is like no other product I could find, but also that it was free from dairy and wheat. I was blown away. Like, it was way ahead of its game 8 years ago. So I started using it, lost 10 pounds of baby weight, and I just felt amazing. Now, the thing about the shakes is they come in chocolate and vanilla. They can be used for a healthy breakfast, so you can make a smoothie with them. We put frozen cauliflower in them. It's a total mum hack. My kids have them for breakfast. I don't even know they've got raw cauliflower for breakfast. They're wheat, dairy and gluten free, so they're vegan, so they're really helpful for everybody. My husband's the personal trainer. He uses them pre and post workout. He for ages told me I can't use this, there's not enough protein in it, I'm going to use my whey protein. And I was like, just try it. And honestly, he's never been in such good shape since he ditched all the like dodgy whey protein and started fueling his body with plants. So, you know, they're so good for the whole family, and they come in chocolate and vanilla because they're the only two flavours that can be made without adding any synthetic additives to it. So there's no nasties in them. Like I said, my kids have them, my mum and dad have them for breakfast. They're literally an amazing addition to our family nutrition. They contain lots of fruits and vegetables in them themselves, and like I said, I use them for weight loss, and I lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks and just started to feel amazing. So that's a little bit about the shakes. I haven't missed anything out, have I? No. So then after I started using the shakes, found that I loved them, I then joined the business myself, made a massive change to my whole life. But I learned a little bit more about some of the other products that are available. So the company is very family focused. They are aware that health is important, not just for adults, for children. And they came up with something called the Healthy Starts for Families. So Juice Plus's main product is Juice Plus Capsules. So they come in fruit, vegetables and berries, and they are the essence of 30 fruits and vegetables that you take into your body every single day as a nutritional supplement that kind of bridges the gap between what we eat and what we should eat. So Claire calls me Mark Fowler because I sell fruit and veg, but when you go to the supermarket nowadays, like I went in to get some fruit and my husband asked for mangoes. He's Jamaican. So when we get our mango, this mango has probably been grown in Jamaica, but it was picked way before it was ripe. It's then been on a plane, travelled over to England, sat in the supermarket, and then when you get it home, it's still not ripe and it sits in your fruit bowl, and sometimes it doesn't even ripen, it just sits there and goes off. And that's because it's picked way before its prime. So the magic about Juice Plus Capsules is that they grow all their fruits and vegetables. They pick them when they're at peak performance. So there's no soggy strawberries in there. There's no unripe fruit in there. They pick them at their peak. They then freeze dry them. The sugar and the water is extracted. They're freeze dried and they're encapsulated. So you're getting the best parts of the fruits and vegetables in your body. They're bioavailable, which means they go into the bloodstream, and they do amazing things. Now, someone said to me a couple of weeks ago, well, I could just go to the supermarket and juice and I get the same thing. And for a long time I was like, okay, yeah, I get that, but it's expensive. But actually it's not even the expense and the fact that it's annoying to go and juice. When you juice, you get all the sugar and the water and the tasty bit out of your fruit, but you miss all the pulp. Like, you chuck all that away. That's the good stuff. That's the golden stuff where all the nutrients are. And when you juice, you take all the juice out and chuck the pulp away. With Juice Plus, they keep the pulp. That's what's freeze dried, and that's what you put into your body. So it's like the very best bit. So you get the best bits of the fruits, vegetables and berries in your body in a capsule, and you take them every day. And for me, honestly, it sounds really weird, they made me crave healthier foods. Like, I honestly feel like when I take my capsules, I then think, oh, I really fancy like more fruit, because whatever you put into your body, I feel like that's what your body craves. So when I first started taking them, before that, I was having like a cup of tea with 2 sugars and 5 biscuits for breakfast. And then I started taking my shakes, adding my capsules. And honestly, my whole diet's transformed. I was like reaching out for broccoli at roast dinner. And my mum was like, what's happened? You're not pregnant again, are you? And I was like, no. So like my mum started taking them. She used to have chronic migraines, and she noticed that her migraines were like changing. And I'm not saying that's because of the capsules, whether it's just an awareness of her health, whether she drank more water as a result of taking the capsules, we don't care. Her migraines lifted. So many people have like great feelings and their body changes from taking the capsules. Obviously, I can't make any claims about what they are, but honestly, if you're not on them, I 100,000,000% recommend them because they're a game changer. But the Healthy Starts for Families actually says that when an adult takes the Juice Plus capsules, they get them free for a child. So children across the world, over 1 million families are on this Healthy Starts for Families, and children have had the most amazing results. So they get like a chewy version of the capsules, or if they're over the age of 12, they actually get a capsule themselves to take. And children have had some incredible results. So the study's shown that children drink more water, they make healthier food choices, they're doing better at school, they have better concentration. Now, Claire talked a little bit at the beginning about how powerful nutrition was to her and how good she felt. So imagine what that could do for your kids. You know, kids that eat good food and are fed nutritionally, not deficit, the opposite to deficit, dense food, nutritional dense food, do so much better because their body is fueled better. But so kids taking Juice Plus chews or capsules, less time off school, drink more water. If they're overweight, which unfortunately is a growing problem, obesity in children is a growing problem in children in the UK, they're actually losing weight naturally. They're making better food choices. The same thing I said at the beginning, I started feeling like I wanted to eat healthier things. The results are literally outstanding. Both my kids take Juice Plus chews every day. And do you know, at the beginning of the pandemic, obviously we've just been through like a major world health issue, we're still in it with the pandemic. I've never felt not confident that my kids weren't going to be ill, that I'd done the very best to make sure they were in the best state possible. You know, they eat frozen they eat frozen cauliflower for breakfast, they take their chews every day, they have a pretty healthy diet. I mean, Fridays sometimes they still have waffles and fish fingers and spaghetti hoops, but that's mum life, right? We're all about balance. But I know I'm giving them a really good start to the day when I give them their shakes and their chews. So that's a little bit about healthy starts. Shall I carry on, Claire?
Can I just add in as well? The healthy is what I love about it, and what you've said is, listen, my Bo is so fussy, he still eats a lot of beige food because he is so fussy, but in the morning I know that he's had a good variety of good nutrition, so I'm okay with that. But also the thing that I love about it is you can sponsor a child up to the age of 21, so even if your kids are older or if they're at uni and you know their diets are rubbish, you can get their capsules absolutely free. Dan takes the capsules now for his skin and obviously for his nutrition as well, and I've seen such a huge improvement in his food choices. He opts for water now. Like, he used to always be fizzy drink mad. We don't have fizzy drinks in our house, but if we go out we allow them to have fizzy drinks, but his choices are so much better, and I don't have anything else that I can say has done that, because it's definitely, listen, I'm no Julian McKeith, I still drink gin and wine at the weekends and I still eat pizza, but like you said, Em, I have such a balance. But what you put in, you crave more. When you open those Pringles and you start eating one, you want to eat more. When you open that family size bar of chocolate, I don't even know why it's got a resealable thing on it, because no one reseals that. And it's the same with food. Like, when you give your body good stuff, your body will start to crave it, and that is just what's happening with our family, and that's why I love it. So sorry, just to jump in there.
No, that's fine. It totally makes sense. I mean, the Pringles slogan is once you pop, you just can't stop, and it's so bloody true, isn't it? So yeah, I feel like the Juice Plus capsules and shakes have made such an impact on my whole family, and I just wouldn't be without them, and I've been so grateful for them over the last 2 months. Also with the pandemic and everyone being at home, I was like, oh my God, I just keep making these leisurely walks to the fridge, and it was quite handy to know that we had an answer for those extra pounds that we gained at the beginning of lockdown. So yeah, it's a very versatile product. So the last products I'll talk about, we do have loads more, but I don't want to take all of your morning talking about products. The last one I'll talk about that's been an absolute game changer for me is the Juice Plus Vegan Omega. So omega is something that we've known has been good for us for years and years and years. If you go up and Google benefits of omega, there is loads. And when I think back to school and my grandparents and when I was younger, I remember cod liver oil being a really big thing. It tasted vile, used to give people fish burps, and I used to be so grateful that my mum didn't force us to have it, but I knew others that did, and my grandma always did if we went there. Cod liver oil is basically omega, but it comes from the fish. And Juice Plus realised that actually when you get omega from the fish actually eats a plant to get the omega, and then we just extract it from the fish. So how about their geniuses, right? We go directly to the plant. Why don't we skip the middleman and get the direct source of omega, which is exactly what they did. So they found a ethically sourced algae, which contains omega 3, 5, 6, 7 and 9. So it comes directly from the plant. There's no fishy middleman, and that also means that it's vegan, so it's safe for everybody, because there was no animals harmed in the creation of the omega. So omega has crazy benefits, mind, body, skin. My hair has gone nuts. My daughter has vitiligo, which, if you don't know, is an autoimmune disease, which means that she's mixed race, and so she has dark skin, and then she gets big white patches that can be a very they get burnt in the sun, but they're also, it makes her feel self-conscious. So when she first got diagnosed, they gave us loads of really strong steroid creams and stuff to put on it. Most of them were unlicensed for children, but they told us to try them anyway. And I've tried to go down the route of just being really like clean with her diet. We cut milk out. She's on her Juice Plus. We upped her berry chews because we know berries are really good for antioxidants, which is great for skin. And we started putting omega on her patches. And whether she's just, as her body's changed, the vitiligo has started to decrease, or whether it's all because of this magic Juice Plus, I will never know. But honestly, I've never been so grateful for products, because my daughter is so beautiful and she feels confident in her skin again. So I definitely recommend Googling the benefits of omega, because it's absolutely insane. And we just have a vegan, ethically sourced version with 3, 5, 6, 7 and 9. So they're the products that I just wanted to talk about. They've made a massive impact on my life, because similarly to Claire, I literally was sharing them with everybody around me. Like I was on Facebook posting about them, and I recommended about 6 girls to the girl who sold me the product. So she said to me, why don't you join? It took me a couple of weeks to say yes, because at the time I didn't have any confidence. I was a single mom. My life had kind of just felt like it was a disaster. Everything that I expected to go right had gone wrong. And I thought, oh, I won't be able to do this. Like, I feel like a total failure in life. But she didn't badger me. She just let me think about it. And then I thought, do you know what? I can do this. It's 50 quid. I borrowed the money from my mum. I told her it was for food shopping. It's the best lie I've ever told. And I just kind of ran with it. I realised if I could help other people to feel as good as I did, similarly to Claire, if you feel crap and then you start to feel better, you want to share that with other mums that don't feel great about themselves. So I decided that's what it's going to do. I hit my first couple of promotions in my first month. I got £400 in my first month, and honestly it was just life-changing to me, because I was on maternity leave, which was like £100 a week. My benefits were topping up my maternity leave. It still didn't even cover my rent. My parents were topping up my rent, and I'd felt so independent for so long, and that £400 just gave me independence. It made me feel like I was fit to be a mum again, because I could actually provide for my daughter myself. And that little, stop it, my dog's just digging up my garden, that little bit of independence that this business gave me confidence, which then allowed me to really build this business. And you know, a year after being in it, I hit national marketing director, which is one of the pinnacle positions in the business. And I went on to be a European top earner. And yeah, I've literally gone from not being able to afford my rent to becoming, like Claire, a homeowner of a beautiful house, having 2 beautiful children. I'm married now. My life's very, very different. And I get to bring my kids up, take them to school every day. They go to private school, which was always my dream. I get to pick them up from school every day. We're now on summer holidays, so I get to be mum with them, which sometimes is a blessing. Sometimes I wish I got to go to work. But I get to be time rich, and like money. I'm safe financially. Yeah. So yeah, it's been an absolute blessing to my life and my family's life. And yeah, that's me.
Thank you. I could listen to your story all day. And you're also really, really modest. You hit our Elite Millionaires Club as well a few years back, and life has just, knowing who you were then to who you are now, it always inspires me. And this is why I love doing the calls with you, because we are just 2 very normal girls who saw an opportunity and wanted to change. And you know, if you're on this call, you're watching it back, there's something inside you that wants to change, and this can be an incredible platform for that change. If you had said to Emma 8 years ago, your life's going to be like this in 8 years' time, you probably would have laughed at them then, wouldn't you? Like, whatever. Same as me.
Most definitely.
Like, it's mental and absolutely nuts. And the thing is, it gets bigger and better. And you touched on the pandemic, actually. You know, we're living in very strange times right now. I thank God every day that I said yes to this opportunity, because we have an opportunity which helps people get healthy, but also gives people a plan B. And what are the two things that the world needs right now? People need to get healthy and people need a plan B, and this is what we do. So, you know, whilst people have had this awful time and I feel terrible for it, I'm also so grateful that I said yes, because that plan B turned into a plan A really quickly for me. This is an opportunity that you can pick up. It can fit in around your children. Is it easy? Oh my God, of course it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Is it worth it? Absolutely. We get to pick our hours. You can work in the nooks and crannies of your day. Like I said, I, like Emma, built my business to National Marketing Director, which is a really pinnacle position in our company, whilst I was still at work. So, you know, yes, I ditched TV in the evenings and I worked on my business. I got up a little bit earlier and I worked on my business, but you know what? It's bloody fun. You get to work with the best team ever. When lockdown is over, we have conventions where we do really good social events, but we do loads of stuff just as friends. And I think for me, being a mum, especially 6 years ago, I felt like I was the only one in the world struggling. And when you're surrounded with people who are mums, but they're loving life, you're like, okay, so I could do this. I can be happy and be a mum at the same time. And you can have, like, motherhood can be really isolating. And this has allowed me to be me, mum, the boss, wife, the friend that I've always wanted to be, and it's given me that really good balance. So the business in a nutshell, I'm just going to touch on it slightly. Obviously, if you're watching this back as a replay, or if you're watching this live and you want more information, please do get in touch with whoever added you to the call or sent you the link. But the business costs 50 quid. Knowing what I know now, 50 quid is a ridiculously small amount of money to set up your own business. If you were to set up a traditional business right now, you'll be talking tens of thousands of pounds. That £50 gets you your online virtual office, which enables you to process orders worldwide. So you can have a global business. We're in, I think it's 28 different countries at the moment. So pretty much the whole of Europe, America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Dubai. We're opening in Mexico. We're just opening up in Portugal, and we've got plans to expand even further. So if you've got connections in any of those countries, you can have business there. There is no stock to buy. So you are not buying stock and then selling that on. We are literally just the middle person. So a bit like when you go to see a really good movie, or you go and have a nice meal and you put it on your Facebook, and people are like, oh yeah, let's go and see that film, and they toddle off onto the cinema, and Odeon or The View get paid for that recommendation, but you don't. We just share a product and we share testimonials, and we share our own experience, but we get the commission for that. So we are the middle person between Juice Plus and the customer, and our job is to ensure that the customer gets a really good experience. And it's easy to get a good experience because you're living it already with them, and the products are bulletproof. So there's no stock to buy, there are no deliveries to make. Juice Plus take care of all of that. And there's no money handling, which is what I love as well. You know, some businesses, you need to pay for the products first for the customer and then claim it back off the customer. It's literally so direct between us, the client, and Juice Plus. Juice Plus take care of all the accounts. We get paid on the 10th of every single month straight into our bank account, and we get paid on absolutely everything. So there is no minimum sale to make. Whether you share 1 shakes and capsules or 1 shakes or 1,000, you get paid on absolutely all of them. And your commission goes up each time. So we all start off on 10% commission, and everything is worth a points value. Once you hit your first promotion, you get an extra 4% commissions. And just as an example, I'm not going to run through all the positions, but the first promotion, you need 825 points. That's 4 people to take our premium capsules, and you've made your first promotion with an £80 bonus. So with commissions, you're looking around a £300 pay packet for your first month, which is incredible. So if you know 4 people who want to look good and feel good, you can absolutely do this business. It's a really simple compensation plan. There are £119,000 in bonuses to collect on top of your commission. Myself and Emma have just hit, I've hit a position called International Marketing Director, and Emma has hit the top position you can ever get, which is Presidential Marketing Director Plus. Mine comes with a £14,000 bonus when I get paid in September on top of my commission, and Emma's comes with a £40,000 bonus on top of her commission. So, you know, those sums of money with commission, I would have to work all year in my old job to earn that sort of money, and probably not even earn that sort of money. This is a life-changing opportunity, and it's available to everybody. I never did any marketing. I've never done a sales job like this before, and it's not sales, it's like sharing stuff. So like I said, if you can recommend products and services as you would normally when you go out for dinner or the cinema, you can absolutely do this. So we use social media, but word of mouth is just as good. There are so many different ways that you can market the business. We have online training groups, online training calls that you can attend. We're very passionate about really in-depth on-hand training. So between myself and Emma, we do calls pretty much all week. So there's something for everybody. You're not expected to get on all of them, but you can get on a call, get inspired, and go and build your business. And it really is that simple. So I'm just going to leave it out because we've been on for 40 minutes now. First of all, thank you so much for sticking with us. And second of all, you know, if you had your enough is enough moment, just jump in. It's been the best thing that I've ever done for me and my family. And like I said, you know, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it, and it can really transform your life if you want your life to change. So ask yourself this: if you're happy where you are right now, that's absolutely cool. And you know, there is no obligation to join us, by the way. This is just an information call. If you're happy where you are, that's great. But if you're not and you don't do anything, your life will be the same in 6 months' time. Are you okay with that? That's what I always ask myself. Am I okay with staying where I am? And I'm not. And I surround myself with people who push me to be more and do more. And it's had great results, and it continues to have great results. So if you don't have 50 quid to do this business, you absolutely need to do this business, because it can give you so much. And that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for sharing and your story, Emma, and thank you guys for your time. If you want to get more time and you want to join us, you know, we're just regular mums doing extraordinary things, and we're so passionate about helping other mums to do it. So it'd be really good to see you guys on the team soon. Like I said, no obligation, but get in touch with whoever added you to the call. If you want more information, there's more to learn, there's more to know. I'm sure you've probably got some questions, but feel free. My name's Claire Black. Like I said, drop me a message on Facebook and I can direct you back to, can answer your questions, then direct you back to whoever added you to the call. But thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy that sunshine. I've got a skirt on and I'm sitting on my leather seat and I'm literally stuck to it. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.